everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Hecht Creative. Today we're going over the X-Men Animated Series VHS tape figures from Marvel Legends. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Now let's get to it. So here's the box for Jubilee. It looks very nice. The VHS stylings are really cool. We have that little down part over there. It's really nice. Marvel Legends right over here. X-Men Jubilee with her glasses on looking over here. We have some nice artwork on the back, a digital render, and it looks wonderful. All the little legalese on the bottom. We have the same thing on the side. On the top, X-Men Jubilee. On the bottom, plastic-free packaging. Alright, let's take a look at Jubilee. My favorite part about this figure is the head sculpt. It looks really nice. The eyes are very well done, and I love it a lot. She looks great in this form. She has a nice body as far as it goes when it comes to the jacket. It's a super cool jacket. I really don't like these darker colorings, and I know it's for the comic book inspired or animated series inspired line, at least, but they could have, I don't know, used a different color for that, I guess. Maybe a more mustardy yellow. But otherwise, it looks fine as far as sculpt goes. The paint, I think, could be a little bit better, though. I just don't like all these different shading parts going down the body. I know it's for a certain effect look, but it's not my kind of effect look. I do like the boots, though. The two tones are pretty neat. You could make that work somehow. The legs are great, but they don't work with the previous Jubilee figure. There's some more shading over here on the gloves. And I don't know why it's not on the other side, which is kind of weird, but yeah, it's kind of a shame for me at least. She comes with these very retro-inspired glasses that are really neat, but they have a little bit of black on them for some reason. I'm not sure why exactly. They just fit on her face very easily, though. I like that a lot. You can kind of move them up or down a little bit, depending on how you want to work it, but you gotta watch out for the ears, as it needs to be exact on her face. This works in theory, and it's similar to the previous glasses that she has, but I'm not a big fan of this that much. It just doesn't work that well, especially the little shading with the mark on it. That looks awful and kind of tacky. Not a fan. Her alternate head is really great, but I do wish she was blowing a bubble, like in a different alternate head she has from another figure. That looks nice. I think they took it out just because the bubble probably wouldn't survive in the new packaging. But yeah, this is pretty fine. I like this a lot. The darker, more opaque glasses are my preferred ones anyways. So as far as articulation goes for Jubilee, the head can go back this far, forward this far, swivel all the way around. You get a little bit of tilt over here, some nice pivot, up this far and down all the way around. It isn't really that great of a joint. You just swivel over here. You also get an elbow that goes up to around 90 or so and does swivel. You do get a hand that swivels and then goes up and down. And the same with the other hand exactly, except for this, moving up this way, the handshake versus the hand wave. We also get a swivel right over here at the chest, going back this far, forward this far, pivot. She also has waist articulation, forgot to mention that. We get out this far, very nice, up this far, back, all the way back. It's pretty okay, not that great. Swivel up here, swivel down here at the boot, down and up, and then we get a pivot with two peg holes on the feet. It's nicely done. I'm not a fan of the shading. If that shading was gone, this would be a really nice Jubilee, but there is a better one that I would like to show off in just a little bit. She also comes with the same twirly, swirly magic effects we've seen before. They're cool, they're pink, but I like different effects for my Jubilee. Retro VHS Jubilee stands at about 5.5 inches tall, next to the previous Jubilee single card that we've had. The colors on her are way better. I like them a lot more. Yeah, the skin tone isn't as vibrant, but I think the body works out way better as far as this figure goes. The head may need to be swapped, but that's about it. I like everything else about the figure except for that head. So swap the head and we'll be in good business. And also here's Jesse Hecht Creative. Ma'am, would you stop doing that? It's not even 4th of July! So here's the box for MORPH. MORPH is in the front, looks really good. There's a little head over here. Marvel's MORPH. We have a lot of good stuff over here. It's orange on the side. I like that a lot. Marvel Legends, Marvel's MORPH, X-Men, Marvel Comics on the top. On the back, we have a picture of MORPH 3D render with some shading. Let's go over that later. Side is the same thing. Top, yep, same stuff. Bottom, same stuff before. Let's get this guy open and check him out. MORPH is an intense-looking character. He's pretty, mean-looking for a guy who I think does some jokes here and there. He is a pretty good character as far as head sculpt goes. It looks nice. The jacket is pretty cool. The shading isn't that bad actually on this one as far as the jacket goes. It's alright. I wish it carried down over here more, honestly. Just get a little bit more in there. He does come with a fist over here, fist over there. He has a little X belt. We get some more shading on his chest, and that looks fine. His legs get some shading over here and down, and that's pretty alright. On the back, not much shading at all, and yeah, that's kind of fine. He's a little bit bland-ish, but he can be used as some kind of body mold for other characters and stuff like that. His head is the most unique part about him. He comes with this creepy-looking head that makes him look like he has no sleep. Yeah, this is kind of freaky and weird. The hair is a little disheveled here and there, which is pretty nice looking. It's a good-looking head that kind of gives me nightmares a little bit. You get some swivel, and then back this far and forward on that. You also get these outstretched hands that can swivel and then go back and forth. Not that well on this joint, which is kind of a shame. You know, they're kind of just okay as far as hands go. They look good for posing, but not for articulation. As far as articulation goes for Morph, the head can go back this far, forward this far, swivel all the way around, get a little bit of pivot over here, up this far, down all the way around, you get a swivel right over here, single jointed elbow right over here, you get a swivel, and then up and down, and the same with the other. You get back, and there's a big gap over here, and then forward, no gap at all, the jacket's blocking it. Swivel at the waist, you get out this far, in, up this far, back, all the way. Pretty nice, looking good. There is some gappage over here on this leg, this alone. You get some down over here, up, and then pivot with 2 peg holes on the feet. He looks nice, if a little bit bland, but we finally have Morph after all these years, so that's good enough for me. Morph stands at about 6¼ inches tall next to my previous Morph kit bash, using the Dirk Anger head right here, but it now has the new parts, so I could probably keep both. I think the neck gap could be a little bit better on the old one, but I like the new one aside from the shading. I may change it a little bit later and erase it. And also here's Jesse Hecht Creative. Morph, I can tell you've been studying all night again. Look at those bags under your eyes. Here, let me get your mind off of things. This is my friend Chameleon. I think you guys have a lot in common. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. Cyclops' box looks really cool. There's a lot of stuff going on. He looks really nice with all those pouches and the yelling and the pointing. His little face over here, X-Men Marvel Cyclops, 4+, Marvel Comics, X-Men. Yeah, same stuff as we've seen before. Looks nice. The render is cool over here, at least the picture. Looks good over here. The bottom is the same. Top is nice. And the back has a good render of Cyclops. So let's check this boy out and see what's what. To me, Cyclops looks just okay as far as the head sculpt goes. I think his hair should be a little bit browner in a way. But what do I know? I guess they're going off whatever model it is for the animated series. The coloring looks just okay. It looks more like a gold and a yellow together, which is interesting. There also is a nice little stripe of shadow going down here, all the way to the cuff, all the way down here in the front, and here in the front as well, on the feet. And that's kind of it, basically. The lips look large to me, which kind of throwing me off. I do like the deco on here as well, even though there is some more of that shadowing, which is just okay. It's a nice looking figure, and I'm not really sure this is a reused body or not, but I'm welcome to this figure looking as good as it does, except for those lips. They're just kind of big for me. Cyclops comes with 2 outstretched hands. You can swivel and then hinge back and forth. Same thing on both sides. They're pretty okay, but, you know, maybe you could do like Gene or something like that. Yeah, I don't get it either. He also comes with an optic blast hand you can affix sort of to his head and make him look like he's doing his blast, but without an actual blast, it doesn't really function that well. It could use a blast. You could get swivel and then back and forward, or you could also use it for Gene! As far as articulation goes, for Cyclops, the head goes forward this far, back this far, swivels all the way around. A little bit of pivot, we get up this far and down, all the way around. We get a swivel at the bicep, a double jointed elbow, and down swivel, and then up and down over here. We get back and forth with the butterfly joint, and back this far, forward this far. What's cool is this is actually sort of built in, which is great. This little sort of padding. We get a swivel right here below the belt. We get out this far and down, and then up this far and back this far, and then double join knee this far, swivel, swivel, and then down, and then up, and then pivot with 2 pegals on the feet. Nice looking figure, pretty okay accessories. I would not have minded a blast effect, but he's nice overall, I guess. Cyclops stands at about 6¼ inches tall next to the previous Cyclops and my kit bash that I made. Even though these have the falling down straps, I do prefer them over this one. It would just be too much of a hassle for me to undo all the shading on him, and I don't like the face as well and the chunky visor, so I'll be keeping these and probably selling this one off. And also here's Jesse Hecht Creative. Hey, not to ruin the moment, but I'm a firing my laser! Bah! And here's the box from Mr. Sinister. It is a lovely purple. He looks amazing. The DNA in his hand is phenomenal. This is a really nice box. I love it. You do get a Mr. Sinister head over here. The smile is awesome. I wish he was played by Tim Curry. That'd be amazing. I could see Tim Curry in his prime playing him in live action. Marvel Comics, Mr. Sinister. Looks amazing. On the top, it's the same thing with X-Men Mr. Sinister. On the bottom, all the legalese and plastic-free packaging. It's wonderful. Let's check this guy out. And this is a nice render over here to see what is up with this guy. Mr. Sinister is up next, and the head sculpt is my favorite part about him. It looks wonderful. I even like this little blue streak in his hair. I can easily use this for my previous Mr. Sinister. It's wonderful. It reminds me a lot of Tim Curry. I don't know why I really am jonesing for Tim Curry to play this guy, but he looks really great. I do like the different kind of shading and shadowing on him. It adds a little flair and detail. It doesn't look too out of place, and it looks really cool, I think. The blue and gray kind of blend in well. These little cuffs and the belt look nice, as well as this little diamond connecting to this diamond up here. That's fine by me. His boots are kind of weird, though. They're not as good as his torso and arms, but they kind of look strange. It's like they can't pick between being blue or being gray. I'd rather them be more gray than blue, but they're fine. On the back, again, is nothing once again, and this sort of cape thing is really nicely done. It's like a bunch of linguini or something like that. It's double layered, which is pretty cool. Nice little effect there. It's black on the inside and blue on the outside, but my issue is on mine, it's kind of coming undone on the inside, if you could see that a little bit. But yeah, it's a pretty good figure as far as everything's concerned, but not the best, I don't think. I like his head the best, though. He doesn't come with any accessories, so as far as articulation goes, the head can go back this far, hitting the cowl, forward this far, pretty nice swivel, and a little bit of pivot here and there. Arm goes up, not really that far, down, pretty okay. It does swivel if you move it out a little bit, but it kind of hits these little pauldrons going on over here. You kind of have to move it around in a strange way. You do swivel it right over here, though, and that works fine. Double joint elbow, not pinless, is pretty alright. And down, the swivel and then hinge up and down works pretty okay. I would guess it works, I think, better on this hand than the other, but then again, I really haven't been moving him around all that much. It takes some effort to move his hands, and that's kind of a shame. You can move him back this far, forward this far. You do get a swivel with the belt being above. Splits this far, pretty nice. Up and back, pretty okay. You do get a double jointed knee, which works out pretty alright, not the best. You get a swivel up here, and then a swivel down at the boot, and then down, and then up, and then pivot with 2 peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Definitely a reuse body. It's okay, not my favorite. The head is the best part about him and looks really wonderful. It's a nice figure. I think one of the best out of the 4 I have seen, but a far cry from being perfect. Mr. Sinister stands just under 7 inches tall or so next to the previous Mr. Sinister. I just like the other one way better. It's a nicer looking figure, and I have toyed around with doing some swaps, but I think all in all, I might do the head, maybe those red cuffs. They're pretty cool, though, and look nice, these figures, but I definitely prefer the older one. And also, here's Jesse Hecht Creative. Wait, don't take my DNA! I need that! Oh? You're gonna put it inside of Serpentor? The Cobra Emperor? Huh, never mind. Totally take my DNA. That sounds awesome. Overall, these figures are great if you want to collect the animated series figures, but for me, they're kind of a pass. I do like the head sculpts on some of them that are improved from previous releases, yet with these figures, I probably won't be having them stick around as much as I want them to. JUBILEE is just alright as far as she goes. The jacket's kind of marred by those different types of shadings, and I do think the legs could have been better and at least use the boot mold from the previous so I could swap the skin tones and have it look a little more uniform on my kit bash. That being said, the head sculpts are fantastic, even though the glasses are marred by some bad paint here and there. MORPH is really good. Those head sculpts are fire. Again, the shading doesn't do it for me for the rest of him. I do like those hands, yet the entire figure is kind of a miss for me in a way, but I may swap that jacket over to Cyclops, who I think is kind of the worst of this bunch. I don't like the chunky goggles, the hair's off for me, and those straps on his body are kind of strange, at least in my opinion. Again, the shading isn't really that bad on him, it kind of blends in, yet it's still kind of an eyesore when it comes to the yellow, and it could be done way better. Mr. Sinister looks really cool, yet I'm confused on whether he is blue on gray or gray on blue. Again, the head sculpt is the best part, but I do wish they came with more accessories, such as some more hands, maybe some cool DNA effect. But I feel like this wave is kind of reusing body molds to justify re-getting characters out there, and it's all reuse, I think. I love something new, such as the body molds used for Cyclops and MORPH, yet they could step it up a little bit more with some extra hands to give this a little more panache. While I haven't tried all the different flavors of the X-Men animated series VHS characters, these for me let me know that I don't need to get the rest in order to have fun with my action figures. I'm just going to probably take the heads and put the bodies somewhere else where they belong. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Feel free to click like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com, where you'll find more reviews like this one. Thanks again for watching and keep being creative. Stay tuned!